first off, welcome everyone. How are we doing today? Good. We appreciate everyone making the trip. I know some of you came from a little ways away. Some of you are more local, but it's good to get everyone out here. You guys will get a ton of work today. First, make sure that you do everything you want to do today. So don't be shy. If you want to play multiple positions, let us know. If you want to pitch, make sure you let us know. So I tried to ask everyone already. If you want to pitch, don't not pitch and then go home and say, man, I wish I had thrown. Don't be bashful or shy. We want you to show us what you can do out here. Couple goals for today, and then we'll talk about the schedule. The biggest goal, obviously, is for you to display your skills for us, for all of our coaching staff. We have our entire coaching staff out here right now. We'll introduce everyone in a second. But we've got our hitting coach, our pitching coach, our catching coach. I do a little bit of everything. We have Brian, our baseball ops guy, so we have everybody here to watch you. I want you to have fun. The biggest thing with these camps sometimes, players will try to do too much, more than they're capable of. We understand that this could be your first time playing in front of college coaches. You might be a little bit nervous. My biggest advice is we would rather you, if you're going to make a mistake, because everyone's going to make a mistake. You're going to miss a ground ball. You might miss a fly ball. Someone's going to strike out. There'll be multiple strikeouts. The biggest thing is whatever you do, if you're going to make a mistake, make it aggressively. Don't make it passively. So if you're an infielder, don't be sitting back, waiting because you're afraid to miss it. I'd rather you take a chance. I'm not saying play out of control, but I'd rather you get into a ball, try to get a good hop. You misread it, ball comes up, you miss it, it's okay. Stay with the play, make the play. Just move on. Part of this too is seeing if you make a mistake, how quickly can you move on from it? Or do you let that compound and you turn one mistake into another mistake and you're not able to separate your offense and your defense or your defense and your offense? What we're looking for today, we're going to put you guys through a pretty extensive workout. So we're going to let you run a 60. We're then going to go through a showcase style workout. So we'll have the outfielders go in the outfield. You guys are going to be able to get fly balls and ground balls. We're going to throw to bases. We'll have the radar gun on you to get your throwing velo. Infielders, you guys are going to get ground balls. You'll make your throws across. Same thing. We'll get a radar gun on you to get your velos. All of these numbers will be available to you. So we'll keep track of everything. And then at the end of the day, we'll let you guys know what you had in each area. When we hit, we're going to get exit speed. So how fast the ball comes off the bat. We'll also get bat speed readings. When you're pitching today, we will have your fastball, your breaking ball, your changeup, whatever pitches you have, we'll have all those velocities as well. Another thing is we have our entire staff here. We're going to be evaluating you guys throughout the day. When you leave here, I want you to know a couple things. The first thing is there's probably going to be at least one, maybe multiple guys here that end up getting offers from us to play. Now that might come today, or that might come in a week, or maybe longer. But I would guess someone's going to get an offer today, maybe multiple offers. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we want you, when you leave here, to have a good understanding of what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and also where you can play. So if you're a 2026 grad, how many 2026s do we have here today? Okay, cool. So a lot of you. We'll explain the recruiting process in a little bit, but one of the biggest things for you guys is you need to get an idea of where you can play. So that could potentially be at Gordon. It could potentially be at a bunch of other schools. We're going to be honest with you guys and give you feedback of where we feel you can play. If we feel this could be a great spot for you, we're going to let you know. If we feel it might not be, but there's some other schools that could be, we're going to let you know that as well. If we feel like maybe Gordon isn't a great spot right now, that doesn't mean it never will be. But we're going to let you know what areas you need to improve on. So the biggest thing is we want to give you feedback. So don't be afraid to ask us for feedback at the end of the day, and we're going to give you feedback even if you don't ask us. There are so many schools out there that maybe this isn't a fit for some of you, but there's a fit someplace. We want to help you find that fit. For the younger guys, you guys have a lot more time, but we'll do the same exact thing. So we'll tell you what you need to work on to put yourself in position to be a college baseball player when the time comes. Okay, real quick before we start. On the camera right here, we have Coach Nick Palma. We won't show you, Nick, because you're on camera. Coach Nick's our hitting coach here at Gordon. We'll go to Coach Frank Salona next. So Coach Frank is our catching coach, also works with our hitters. Coach Nick Lapori coaches our pitching coach. And Coach Brian Mendu, baseball ops. Brian helps with a ton of recruiting stuff. So he's mostly off-field recruiting. Some of you guys, you might not even have known it yet, but Brian's the one that either found you, found video on you, found info on you. So he does a lot of behind the scenes stuff for us. So again, feel comfortable asking any of us questions as we evaluate you guys today. Okay, so we're going to get you guys loosened up. We'll stretch out, we'll throw, and then we'll talk about the rest of the day. And then we'll do the showcase. We'll play a game today. So when we get into game action, we'll explain how we're going to do that. You guys are going to get a lot of at-bats today. Some of you are pitcher onlys, right? So obviously you guys don't have to hit, but you're going to get a whole lot of at-bats before the day is over. And then after that, we'll talk recruiting. We'll invite your families in. They don't have to be here, but we'll invite them in and we'll talk recruiting. You can ask me as many questions as you want. And then I'm going to the Red Sox game later tonight. So hopefully we beat the Pirates today.
We're going to do, everyone's going to run once unless you stumble and you feel like you need another run. All I want, we've got 2 cones right here, front foot, so right foot, we're always facing this way. Right foot is on that line. You're in a base stealing stance. I'll be down there. I'm going to give you a ready, set, go. On the drop of the hand, you take off. We're going to start the watch on first movement. So if you don't get the greatest jump, it's okay, don't worry. We're not gonna start until you move. All right, so ready, set, go. Once you see me drop, you go. Run all the way through the last cone. You guys see we made a nice little pathway for you towards that. Important, run through the cone. Run an extra 5 to 10 feet. Do not slow down before, because we're not gonna stop the watch until you break the lines of the cone. We'll let you know after we all run, we'll let you know what you guys ran. Any questions? We'll start in right field. I'll mix in ground balls, fly balls. First 3, going to third base. Shortstops, arms up, no cut. Next 3, home. Same thing, first baseman, line up, don't cut it. Let the ball travel to the catcher. Then go to the end of the line. We're gonna have a radar gun out on you. We'll be yelling out your velos. Any questions? Yeah. How many is it doing? Attack it. Good one. What? I got a hammer. Good one. What? Good.
Hawaii, good swag. Hawaii.
Now we're going to start the game. Couple things to remember. Do whatever you feel showcase your ability the best. So if you can steal, go ahead and run. Run as much as you want. If you get thrown out, that's okay. We're not going to yell at anybody for getting thrown out. Now, if you don't steal bags, don't go out there and get thrown out 6 times by 25 feet, all right? That won't look good for you either. But if you can run, go ahead and run. If bunting's a part of your game and you want to try to bunt for a hit, go ahead and bunt for a hit. Do whatever you feel like will showcase your skills to the best of your ability. Good piece. Good swing right there.
Ball was hit, not hit really hard. I know you're young, you're only a freshman, but that's a senior run-in, so your angle just got to be that way more. Like you went this way laterally, then you stopped and you waited. So you see Chopper take more this angle, get off the ground quick and get rid of it. Then when you came here on, he went glove flip. When you get to the bag, come with me. You were at the bag, but you were here. And then the flip came and you had to flash your hands late. Yeah. So it's not so much give him a target so you get a good throw. It's give him a target. Yeah, it helps get a good throw, but now I can be quick here. If you're here, that flash was too late. Lefty's up. You were playing here. He stole. You went right to the bag and got there super early. If you see him running, you can come in this way, and then once there's no action, then right to the bag, catch tag. Because you went right to the bag, and you were here waiting. But if he hit it, you vacated like super early. So you were about here. Watch. You see him. Runner, here. Then it's not hit, you get to the bag, catch tag. Sound good? For the battle.
Good take.
So you got that ball where you had to attack it here and go backhand. Your angle was really good. Everything about it was good. But you're here, and then as you started to lower, the back of your gloves, sitting back there, I could see the back of your glove. And then it was right when the ball got right there, oh, you flashed like real late, and you just didn't get the ball where you wanted it. As you were lowering, if instead of lowering and being like this, you lowered and went like this, now you can move the glove much easier and catch it versus having to do that move. So just flash your glove earlier, softer earlier, and you'll be good.
Run it. Pick me. Hey, baby.
Or what? Good piece.
It's over, Ray. Go two.
Away.
First off, we appreciate everyone coming out today. I thought that was a really good 5 and almost a half hours right there. So long day, but got a lot of work in. We were able to get a ton of good notes on everybody. We were able to see everyone do, I think, everything that you guys wanted to be able to do today. So what I wanted to do is just talk a little bit about the recruiting process, answer any questions you may have. We have all different ages here. We have a good amount of guys that are 2026s, and you're kind of like in the thick of things right now. And then we have guys as young as 2029s who are just getting into high school, and you're early in the process. But there's something for everyone to do. So we'll focus at first maybe on the 2026s, since you guys are, like I said, this is the main time for recruiting. But make sure, one of my big messages is always to start early, and you can't start early enough when it comes to recruiting. That's really, really important. So if you're a 2027, 2028, even 2029, if you're in high school, you should be doing a lot of these things, or at least starting to think about doing a lot of these things. So I'll talk for a little bit, and then anyone that has questions, there are no dumb questions. Ask any question that you want, whether it's about our school or about any school. My job, obviously today, we're looking for players that, one, could potentially play here at Gordon, but two, it's also to help you guys play somewhere, because there's only so many spots here, but there's thousands of schools around the country. And so if I can help somebody play at any school, it's really about finding the right fit. There are a lot of schools out there, and I know the numbers. If you look at the numbers, only about 8% of high school players play college baseball. So it is a privilege to play college baseball. I guess I'll start with that. Not everybody can play college baseball. With that being said, there are a lot of different levels, And a lot of players, if you really, really want to play college baseball, most players here, talent-wise, I think can find a home. It's just about finding the right home and not trying to force something that maybe wasn't meant to be, but finding the right fit for you. Because ultimately, a couple things. One, yes, you want to find a place that you can go and play at. That's, I think, very important. You don't want to go to a place. I see a lot of players try to go to a place because of the name of the school, so that you can say that you go to a certain school and play at a certain school, but then they never play. I think it's important to go someplace because it's not probably going to be a fun experience if you go someplace and one, get cut from the team, because some schools do over recruit, or two, if you go to a place and you just don't play and you sit on the bench for 4 years. Some players maybe just want to be part of a team, but I think a lot of players want to go someplace where they fit in well, it's the right fit, they've got a chance to compete and play. So keep that in mind when you're going through the process. And then obviously, school is, for a lot of players, going to be 4 years, maybe some players 5 years, you get a red shirt or something like that, you get injured, but it's a 4 to 5 year time frame. Most of us aren't going to play pro ball or in the major leagues, and even if you were lucky enough to do that, it's really hard to have a long career in the major leagues. I mean, the percentages are very, very low. And so when you're looking to play baseball in college, that will probably be the best time of your life. But you also have to remember there's a lot of life after college as well. So you should be making sure that when you go someplace, it's the right fit academically, because you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life, right? So you're not looking at just 4 years, you're looking at the next 40 years, which is important. And then socially, you want to make sure you're going to the right spot so that it's an enjoyable time for you. You don't want to be someplace and like the baseball, but really not like the location. You don't like the weather. There's a lot of different social components, right? But you want to make sure that you factor that in when you're looking at schools. You want to be happy athletically, socially, and then academically. Those are the 3 areas you want to focus on. So when you're doing your research, make sure you're looking at all 3. A lot of players just look at the baseball. Look at everything. And there's tons of information online that you guys can find on every single school. Go to a school website, take an hour, and you'll have a really good feel for that school. Okay, let's get into some of my notes. First thing is, it is still early. So for your timeline, one thing a lot of players do is they hear that their friends are committing to schools. They're on social media and they see that Johnny just got committed, and then they freak out. How is he committed and I'm not committed? I'm super late to the process. Everyone's going to have their own timeline. It is still very early. So for us at Gordon, we have 2 commits in the 2026 class. We're probably going to bring in 10 to 12 players, maybe more. We're going to have a pretty big 2026 class. So it's still very early for us. But I talk to college coaches every day, and a lot of schools it's still very early for. So don't freak out and think that it's the end of the line, and if you don't get an offer today or tomorrow that you're not going to play college baseball. The recruiting process goes all the way through the fall, sometimes into the winter, especially for the Division III level. So please keep that in mind. Continue to reach out to schools. We're going to talk about a few things. Be proactive. Reach out to schools. Players that are here, some of you were asked to come today by us. We saw you either in person, we saw you on social media, you were recommended to us by either a high school coach, a travel ball coach, a recruiting service. So you've got to make sure that you're reaching out to schools and being proactive, because there's other players here that I found out about you from you. You guys let me know. You emailed me. Email's the best way. That should be the first point of contact that you guys should be doing. So if you're interested in schools, you should be reaching out and emailing. Now, we're in the office every day. Coach Nick, Coach Frank, myself, we're in the office every day, Coach Brian, and we get a lot of emails. When you send an email, there's a couple of things that you need to make sure you do. One is you got to have video in your email. So if you sent us an email and we look at it, but all it says is, I'm Mike Smith, I'm a 2026 from whatever school, and you give me maybe coach's contact, I can call them. But you know what I really want to be able to do? I really want to be able to watch your video. So if you send us that, we're going to write back if you don't have video, and I'm going to say, could you send us some video? So it's important to have video. Either have it in the email or use social media. Twitter or X is a huge part of recruiting. So you guys got to make sure that you're filming, whether it's a practice or a game, have really good video for us. So the video, a lot of times, it might not get you an offer right away, but it lets us see, okay, is this a guy we want to try to get to camp? Like a lot of you guys reached out to us, we watched your video, and we said, this is a guy we need to see in person. So video is hugely important. If you're a pitcher, make sure you have a radar gun if you can, because I will say this, we've had pitchers in the past, and I've coached at I've coached at Wake Forest. I didn't go into my background today, but I've coached at Wake Forest. I've coached at I was a recruiting coordinator at Holy Cross, and now obviously I've been here. I've also run my own program. We've had like 275 guys go on to play college baseball. So I'm talking to college coaches every day. If you send a video with velo, especially as pitchers, it's a lot easier to recruit a pitcher just off a video also. So if you're 83, 85, if I get a video today, I go home and I get a video, and this pitcher's 83, 85 with good command of multiple pitches, he's got a pretty good body, I can almost recruit him basically off of that. If you're a hitter, now especially with exit speeds, with bat speeds, there's TrackMans out there, there's hit tracks. Anything you can get that gives more info, make sure you get it to colleges. College camps. So this is a good example. There's no better way to get information to us and let us see you perform than getting to a college camp. So I'm not telling you to go to every college camp in the country because there are thousands of them, but when you figure out what schools you like, make sure that you try to get to those camps if you can. What were we able to do today? We were able to see you run, throw, hit. We were able to watch you do everything. And we're up close and personal. When I go watch you at an event, I've got to sit back there. There's certain events I can get on the field, but a lot of times I got to sit back there. I can't talk to you. I was able to get around. I was able to talk to you guys. I'm able to see your personalities. Like there's no better way to get in front of a college coach than at camp. So if you have schools on your list, try to get to some of those camps. And again, you don't have to pick 100 of them, but pick a handful to get to. Make sure your target list is pretty big. This goes for everybody. So a lot of players, one of the biggest things I see is players will have like 3 schools in mind that they want to go to. You got to think that schools are recruiting nationally, every school. Gordon College, small Gordon College in Wenham, Massachusetts, we're recruiting nationally. So I'm talking to players from all over the place. So you got to think about that. When you're trying to get to a school, you're not just competing with the players from your high school or your conference or your area, or even your state. You're competing with players from Texas and California and Florida and like I'm thinking about our roster right now. We have a kid from Kansas. I would say the majority of our players are from New England, but we've got players from around the country. And now, since I've been here the last month, I've talked to players from most states. Like I've talked from all over the country. So I think sometimes players don't realize that. They think like Gordon College, they're probably just recruiting guys from like just this little area. No, there's guys reaching out from all over the country that we're talking to. So make sure you have a big list. Like a lot of players, I think you should have confidence in your ability, but you also got to realize that there's a lot of good players out there. There's hundreds of thousands of players out there. So the more schools are on your list, the more schools that you talk to and contact, the more schools that you email, the better chances you have. If you only think, okay, I like these 3 schools and they've got to like me, that's really difficult. If you're going to buy a scratch ticket, you got a better chance of winning if you buy 100 of them than if you buy 3 of them. So play the odds, contact a lot of schools. Don't burn bridges. This goes hand in hand with that. There's a lot of players that we'll reach out to and talk to, and they either won't respond to us or they'll say like, oh, I'm a better player than Gordon. I'm much better than that. And then I guarantee in a month or 2, they're going to say, oh, maybe I'm not. I'm not getting as much interest. And that's not to knock any players, but I want to stress that it is very hard, like I said, to find. If you get a school that offers you, that's not easy. So don't take that for granted. Don't burn bridges. Now, if it's a school that you're just like, that they don't have my major, it's in a part of the country I wouldn't go to, that's fine. But if it's a baseball reason, oh, I'm too good for that school. Like, I'm a way better player than that. That shouldn't be a reason to not talk to a school, in my opinion. And then if things change all of a sudden, it's hard to come back and say, hey, coach, I know I told you that I thought I was better than your school 2 months ago, but I changed my mind, right? That makes it harder to coach because now we're like, we've kind of probably moved on to other players anyway. It's also good to talk to coaches just to get reps in, because it's very important. Again, I'm just going to give you like information that we do every day in the office. We talk to players, and when I call a player, like part of it is I'm judging what's their personality. Are they able to communicate with me? I have had great calls where I talk to players. I get off the phone and I'm like, you know what? If it's borderline, if this guy's just as good as this guy, I'm taking this guy because of the way he was engaged, his personality. Because you got to remember, as college coaches, we're around you guys every single day. Our players got on campus. You saw a bunch of our guys come by today. We're with you guys every day. And so who do I want to be around? I want to be around people that I can talk to, people that obviously want to work hard and get better on the baseball field, but just good people that we enjoy being around. So when you're talking to coaches, it's really important to be able to communicate in a way that expresses to them that I'm a guy that you're going to want to be around. I've had a couple of calls with people, talked to a player, a very good player, talked to him a couple days ago. I got off the phone. I said, man, that player's a really good player, but I don't know if that sounds like the guy we want here, just based off a phone call. So even if it's a school you might not think that you'll be interested in, talk to them in practice, right? Because you guys are young, and it can be intimidating sometimes to talk to an adult on the phone. Maybe you're a little nervous, right? The more you do it, the more you'll feel comfortable doing it, and the better you'll come off on the phone. If you're going to get recruited by a school, it's not going to be through text messaging. You might get an email, that's good, but eventually you're going to have to talk to somebody. You're not going to get an offer just through an email or through a text message or anything like that. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll answer questions. Social media. Be smart with your social media. Every single player that we talk to that reaches out to us, or if we want to get more info on them, we go to their social media pages. And some players put stuff up there that probably shouldn't be up there. You don't want to have a bad first impression when we're trying to find out more info on you, and I start seeing that you're liking and retweeting stuff that I'm like, what are we doing? Keep your social media baseball related for the most part. And like I said, take advantage of getting your video up there. Make sure that your video is up there, because every single player that we've talked to or wanted to find out more info on, we go to your social media pages. So you should have one, but keep it baseball related. So those are my main things. I made a couple of points. Any questions about anything? And then I'm going to finish off just talking a little bit about Gordon real fast. But there are no dumb questions. Come from players, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters. You guys will learn that you've got to be really good at time management. If you're going to go play college baseball at any level, it's going to be a commitment. Normal day, like we said, you're at class from 9 to 2-ish, 2:30-ish. You're going to get down here. We have a 10-minute rule. You got to be here 10 minutes before practice starts. If you're not, you're late. And then we're going to practice 3 to 6. And that's what our team practice. A lot of our guys, we come out here. Guys are out in the cages. Guys are on the field during the day. So that's just what is required. But there's actually more that's required because guys are working all the time. So it is a commitment. You got to be good at time management, and you got to love baseball because you're going to do a lot of it.